The Compass is one of Jeep's many compact SUVs, and for the 2022 model year, it has received a facelift, as you can tell from this quite luxurious interior. But it has retained the same 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine. So the question is, how economical will this Jeep Compass be on the highway? Well, today we're going to find out. This is Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and today we're running the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2022 Jeep Compass with four-wheel drive. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look around it. So besides facelifting the interior, they have done a couple minor things to the exterior as well, like giving us a new choice of wheels, which is very nice. A very mild facelift to our front fascia here. We've now got a front-facing camera, slightly different bumper, headlights, and such, but it's mostly unchanged on the outside. Jeep was pretty satisfied with how the exterior of the Compass looked, but it was the interior that really needed help, in their opinion, and I agree, and I'm glad that they have done that. And I've never really hated the outside appearance of the Compass. I think that it looks pretty with the times. It looks kind of luxurious for what it is, and yeah, it still looks good, and I think that this mild facelift has not done any harm at all. Every Jeep Compass is powered by the same 2.4-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder engine, and if it has four-wheel drive, that is backed by a 9-speed automatic transmission. So that's what we have today in this limited model. I guess that's it. Well, with all that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started with the test. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's fuel economy test, which gives this Jeep Compass 30 MPG on the highway, only averages 48 miles per hour, and we know that some people like to take their cars on actual road trips. So what we do is go out 50 miles and back 50 miles, averaging a speed of 70 miles per hour for a more real-world figure. A couple things worth noting for today's test. Outside temperature is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll be running the climate control inside the car at 73 degrees auto, which is why you can hear the fan going a bit right now. So apologies for that, but we have the climate control set to 73 degrees auto right now. Tire pressures have been set to their factory door placard indicated 35 PSI cold in the front and 32 PSI cold in the rear. We will also be using the same gas pump both times, using the same 3-click filling method for the most accurate results possible. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our first fill. And 3.6 gallons in there for our first fill. Just filling up with regular gas today for this Jeep Compass. Let's go ahead and get on the road. All right, guys, had to remove the GPS phone because I just could not get it to work today. So apologies for that. We're gonna be using Waze instead on our Apple CarPlay to get our GPS indicated speed. But otherwise, I also forgot to mention, we have 3 different drive modes on this Jeep Compass. We have sand, mud, snow, and auto. So no sport or eco modes on here. And as a result, we will just be running this Compass in auto mode. All right, well, the highway's about a half mile away. I will catch up with you once I am merging on. Now, the purpose of this test is not to hypermile. I'm not going to be doing any purposeful, economical driving. I'm just simply going to merge onto the highway, set the cruise control to a GPS indicated 72 miles per hour, and just drive. We've got a little bit of a shortened route today. There's an accident up where we normally would turn around, so our route today is going to be a little bit shorter, around 85, 90 miles, somewhere around there. So go ahead and get started here, merge onto the highway, and get our cruise control set. All right, and it's looking like 73 indicated on the car is going to be our true GPS indicated at 72 miles per hour. All right, well, under first highway impressions with the Jeep Compass, it's a little bit, I don't know, I have a little bit of road intrusion. It's not terrible. It's obviously not the worst that I've ever felt, but Can definitely feel that road. Wind intrusion doesn't seem to be an issue, though. The climate control is blasting quite a bit, so I wouldn't really be able to tell right at this second. But once this calms down and I've done the rest of my drive, I'll be able to report back at the end with some better highway impressions. But as for right now, it seems to be doing just fine. We do also have lane keep assist with this compass, as well as, I believe, yep, we do have radar guided cruise as well. You can set your distance right here on the steering wheel. It takes it a minute to accelerate there. Transmission feels a little confused. Ooh, and the lane keep assist is unhappy. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and settle down and soak in the Jeep Compass, and I will catch up with you guys in 85-ish miles. Finishing up our trip here in the Jeep Compass. I've got to be honest, I didn't have the most relaxing experience here on the highway. Usually I like to test out and try the adaptive cruise controls in these cars because it's a good way to get a feel for them before I go out and shoot my full review. And I've got to say, this may be the worst adaptive cruise control that I've felt in any car. It's almost like it's anxious. Because, let's see if we can, yeah, oh, I guess it's, okay. So what I was finding with it is when you go to do a lane change, it would think that you're going to rear end the car in front of you, so then it would in return slam on the brakes, which makes the person behind you slam on their brakes, and it's a big chain reaction, it's a big no-no, it's very, very bad. So didn't like that. Also, the lane keep assist has total mind of its own. It's swerving all over the place, you know, like ping pong, or what's it? What am I thinking of right now? Well, whatever I'm thinking of. It was bouncing back and forth from line to line, and just really not the most satisfying experience ever. However, as far as driver comfort goes, the seat, the ride, wind and road intrusion, all fine. No real complaints there. So, I mean, really, it's let down by some of these wonky driver assists on this Compass. And these are all new for this facelift. This car wasn't offered with these driver assists prior to its facelift with this new steering wheel and controls and things. And I've got to say, I don't know that it really did it a favor. It doesn't feel like it's fully there yet. It almost feels like they rushed into it with just throwing these driver aids on here. So a little bit more development may be needed there. And there's a little bit of construction up here, so we have to sit in traffic for a couple minutes, but we're just turning into here, so it won't be too long. Also, the engine in this car, this naturally aspirated 2.4 liter, I wish with the facelift they would have put a different engine in this car. It's always revving itself out to just be able to go anywhere because it's so gutless, and it always sounds strained, and I don't know, it's just not really the best thing in the world. It's really a shame with this car because I like the way it looks. I like the way the interior looks. The materials in here, they're not too bad. We've got nice leather stitching and stuff on the dashboard. And it's just a real shame that it's let down by these driver aids and by this crappy 2.4 liter. But anyways, indicated here on the cluster, the car was getting right about 29 MPG, 28.8 is what we ended up having indicated here. Journey today at 95 miles. Went ahead and ran the exact distance on Google Maps before I left, since I had the weird technical difficulty with the GPS phone. So we're going to go off of my readout from Google Maps today. So we'll have to see if this Jeep Compass has met its 30 MPG EPA rating. they've got a lane closed over there, and this whole area is just pure chaos right now. There are just cars everywhere going in every direction. This is beeping at me for some reason. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world of accidents on the highway. There's a man here with his food. Oh dear. Okay, pulling up here to the pump. Gonna go ahead and get our final fill, and I will catch up with you guys once I have brimmed the tank. 3.265 gallons in there for our final fill. Today's trip was 95 miles. Go ahead and divide that by the 3.265 gallons of gas that we used, and that gives us 29 MPG. So that is exactly what the car was indicating, just about 28.8 or whatever it was at the end. So 29 MPG has been achieved, but as attractive as this number may look for a Jeep, we didn't meet EPA's estimate of 30 MPG. So at a little bit of a higher speed, you're gonna see slightly lower numbers with your Jeep Compass at just about 29. But for a four-wheel drive SUV with a super anemic four-cylinder engine that has to haul this big thing around, I don't think 29 MPG is too bad. What I'm curious to see is our effective highway cruising range, because this Compass only has a 13.5 gallon tank. Yeah, see, here's the problem. So your highway cruising range is only 392 miles. I mean, a lot of cars we test are well over 400. Some are even over 500 miles of range. So being under 400 is a little bit disappointing, but that's what you got. So at least it takes regular fuel. You don't have to worry about premium or anything like that. 29 MPG I don't think is too bad of a figure for a four-wheel drive SUV. So there you have it, 29 MPG and an effective highway cruising range of just under 400 miles, or about 390. So that's going to wrap it up for us today. If you guys are curious to learn more about the Jeep Compass, I will have my full review linked down in the description, as well as any other videos that Charlie filmed. Pretty sure he did a sound system test, so I will have that linked down below as well. But that'll wrap it up for us today. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.